Kneel down as you Amen. It's going to be another very exciting day. My general order is going to be like we'll do a recap of what we covered yesterday in no particular order. Alright? I'm going to touch a little bit on home industries. And then I'll give you add more flesh to our gardening, and then I will do some introduction to apiculture, that is beef farming. And then the rest of the day we are going to be finishing what we started yesterday, practical. How about that? So, okay, I'm going to be theorizing a lot of things in here. When you go out, whatever the rest of the class. Are we happy with that? Yes. Okay, that's fine. In no particular order, let's recap what we mastered from yesterday. No particular order. Whatever comes to mind. We covered quite a lot in here, including when we went out. So in no particular order, let it just come. What I've done also, I've got this small short manual about gardening. It's excellent. All right. Anybody can produce. So it's something that you need on. I've sent the soft copy of it so you can print. I sent it on the book. You can make a printout and then, well, the Zimbabwean is going back to Zimbabwe. You have something to lean on. Okay, let's get going. We are recapping. Yes, you want to start the ball rolling? You're not fine if you don't have anything. Okay, let's get going. Everybody, we had something. Yes, Mama said. Yeah, get that right.
The land should be planned in zones. And zone 0 should be warehouses. Then you have other zones. Zone 1, the kitchen garden. Zone 2 and 3, it's animals. Then zone 4 is
the fields. And then
of course, zone 5 is the wilderness.
Yes. You don't want to get a land and then you want to get out everything, all the trees in there, and then thinking it's going to be a very good big farm. No, land, because this is the place that you are going to live, isn't it? So yes, there's need for planning to get your land. What else did you get from yesterday? We covered quite a lot. Everybody should be having something. Yes, Irene.
Yesterday I mentioned that why God gave Israel man, because he wanted to prove them. So today God gave us another message because he also wants to prove us. And another thing that I've learned is that God created the system and then he rested. So also he wants us to create the system and then he will rest as well, like our Father in heaven.
Isn't that powerful? Many times we have our own reason. We think, manna was very nutritious and no, but that was not the reason that he gave them. We actually got it. Where did we get it from? Chapter 16. This is 4. All right. What else did we master from yesterday? Yes. Your name again? Tano. You want? Okay. Okay, you must plant what you eat so that you don't have to depend upon what? Upon it. Okay. I like it when you put that. I think if you really know it, in the NM side, you really have time to say, okay, my mind is now working. I cannot be fed by my NM. All right, okay, what else do you grasp from yesterday? For those who are just coming in, we are doing a recap of what we mastered yesterday, in no particular order. Yes.
I remember you said that we should plant our own gardens because in the supermarkets and the wholesalers, they don't sell organic things because you put it in a way that a human plants something and puts poison so that other organisms don't eat it. Then he eats something that has poison inside of it. And that's why we shouldn't buy the things that are in the supermarkets.
That's quite a brilliant one. Right. Many times, especially if you're urbanized, where you are only going to be to be buying. If I am a farmer, my concern is about feeding you whatever I can just get to feed you, not necessarily your health. They don't think about it. They think about profit because they're in what? They are in business. Even if I'm probably spraying this chemical, and according to the chemical manufacturer, they say, okay, if you spray it, you must stay at least 14 days. But probably by day 6, the leaf is like this. It's looking very, very green. Do you think I'm going to be waiting for it to start wilting? No, I'll just put it on the market. You see the challenge? Yes. So it's imperative that we learn to grow our what? Our own food. Have you ever checked the design of the supermarket? As you go in there, any notable supermarket, what do you meet? Fresh produce, the fruits, probably the beans as well, and these ones are not generally covered. Currently, they are also having a corner for health foods, the health foods corner. So if this corner is a health foods shop, what is the rest of the supermarket? Have you ever thought of that? Okay. So if we move away from the fresh produce and these fruits and probably the dried greens, the rest of the supermarket is useless, nutritionally speaking. But we have been conditioned to vie for things that are hidden. How many times we just go to the fruits and the vegetables and then we go to the cheap? No, we leave. They want things in foil paper, want them in this plastic package, you want them in canned, and this is how we've been what? We've been conditioned. Yeah, the human being doesn't want simple things, he wants sophisticated things. And it is this sophistry that is killing the human being. Good point. Yes, what else did we learn? We covered quite some stuff yesterday. Yes, your name again? Sileres. So, okay, Kistwana is a bit, Kistwana, okay.
Yes, I learned also that like humans, plants behave like humans.
Okay.
They also need sunlight, and then also they need companionship. Like us, we can play with each other. It encourages impacts and also helps to deter pests.
So yes, plants, the needs of a human being are also the needs of the plants as well. Right? We are clothes, we are covering ourselves from where? Sheltering ourselves from the cold. This plant is no wonder why we do that mulching, because whatever we need, the plants also need that. Yes, what else did you cover? Yes.
I learned that there are 3 groups of people that are controlling the country.
The world.
The world, yes.
Yeah.
Number 1 is the food industry, which make sure that the food, we get the food, no matter how healthy or unhealthy they are. And then the second one will be the pharmaceuticals. Those food, they make us sick. Pharmaceuticals will be there to provide medication for us, which is going to kill us with the side effects. And then we've got the politicians.
Who sets the standard?
Yes.
Just okay, no. McDonald's, yeah, you can feed them. Nando's, yeah, put that in there. Yeah, all right. And then so we are kept in a vicious. The food industry doesn't know that okay, you eat this, yeah, you are going to do what? You are going to do this. When you are sick, you go to the doctors, and the doctors there, when they write their prescription, you don't even know what they're in there, but the pharmacist will know. Because for me, what the doctor is telling the pharmacist is actually telling, hey, I've made my money, you make yours. And then you are just, okay, I'm getting it. Thank you for that one, right? I'm sorry, just one moment. My apologies about that. I've been trying to phone this lady there. Beware. I want to get some hives when I go back home. So, okay, sorry for that miss out. Yes. If you want to.
Say something.
Yes.
Two things.
Okay.
From what you have discussed yesterday, I think there is a scarcity of organic seeds and organic fruit trees,
Okay.
non-genetic. So my question is, maybe are there any advantages to make who are selling organic seeds and organic fruits?
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good one. You are releasing, you are reaching them. You are releasing. Are you selling any organic seeds? Or can I have my book? Thanks.
Yes,
Okay. All right. They are there. So if you put a source there. All right. And the other one?
The last one is about the requirements of they say we must read I realized that we are supposed to bring
Okay.
uniform or wetsuit, so to speak.
Or any clothes that you can use in the garden,
Yeah,
so to say.
so my suggestion was that next time maybe people are going to, if they are going to do such a program, maybe we can, or those who are facilitating the program, maybe if they can, or ask the members who are coming if they want to buy from them, buy the uniforms.
Okay, it was not particularly necessarily a uniform, but most people believe any clothes that you can use in the garden. It's not like your attire that you will come to the class with, attire for garden.
For garden.
Yeah, for basket. So, okay, they are hearing that. Should there be a need, bring them, or if you want to buy, they can also organize for that one. Thank you for that one. We are recapping for those that have just arrived. We covered quite some much ground. Whatever you asked, in no particular order from yesterday. Who's here? Were you in the class? But you captured nothing. I thought you were going to say I struggled with the wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I learned yesterday is how to make a bed.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the second time I see how to start tilling the
trench
soil.
method.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but where I used to do, it was a school garden.
Mm-hmm.
They did not do as you did.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, it was my first time to see what you did. So I realize now that they work in a wrong way actually. Even the manure, the government brought some
Okay, with manure.
yeah,
Okay.
with this manure,
Mm-hmm.
and not knowing how did they start with those manure and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I realize now that we must just do our own manure,
Okay.
so that we know it's not GMO.
Okay, no, that's fine. Right. Probably the order, how they were preparing their beds may not necessarily be a wrong way. Like I said, the trenching method was what we did is called trenching method. It's very cumbersome. Okay, it's very heavy. That's the heaviest of how we can improve. But the whole idea is we want to get soil fertility. It's one of the ways. Okay, so most probably depending on how fertile your soil is, you may just probably do what we call double digging. That one is trenching. In double digging, you just dig the topsoil out, and then you loosen the subsoil. That's double digging. All right, there's also just single digging, where just on top there you just dig in and then you add your manures.
Yeah.
It is also another way of improving the what? Improving the soil. Another way also is like if you have got the luxury of time. We are doing this one because we want to eat like yesterday. We don't have the luxury of time. We want to plant. Okay, one other way. So when you get your land, you can actually, okay, this portion is going to be the trenching method. Probably this one is the double digging. This one is single digging for learning purposes. One other thing that you can just do, you can just prepare your bed and you can just lay mulch in there and let it stand. But it will now take what? It will now take a longer time before you plant. So if you've got the luxury of time and land, you can also do that. One other way you can do as well is planting beans, any legume. Okay? When it goes to flowering, you chop it down and you just leave it there and you plant more. In 2 years, that land becomes very, very fertile. If you have got the luxury of time and patience of having to wait. So I want to ask, when you come out of here, I don't want you to have the idea that, okay, that's the only right way of improving soil fertility. Because at the end, we want to feed the soil, and then the soil feeds the plant, and the plant feeds me. Okay, so there are many ways of improving the soil without venturing into synthetic fertilizers. Application of synthetic fertilizers is like feeding somebody on drip. You can't do that forever. Yeah, that's just a temporary measure. So you master that. We would not recommend, manure from commercial chickens, your broilers, right? Right. Sometimes they can biodegrade. At some point, when we were doing the thing with the ADRA many years ago, then at some point we resorted to those ones because these chicken farmers, they just go and dump them anyway. Nature also has got an element of cleaning, the sun, the air, the rain as well. But they might just need to be tested as well how clean they are. Okay? There are also people who are dedicated to organic lifestyle. One of them is Living Seeds. They are non-Adventist. Okay? But they are dedicated and they are running their business. It's like a family business. And they are dedicated to these heirloom seeds as well as organic seeds. Okay, but amongst ourselves, we should actually be creating our own seed banks. Okay, back home I have a group, a club that we are doing, where we collect non-GMO, non-hybrids, and then we are putting up our own seed banks. It's imperative because we have seen. Have you ever seen an avocado without seed? I have seen it.
Yeah.
This is where an avocado. Without what? Seeds. Without seeds. And a lot of your grapes, they no longer have any what? Seeds. Any seeds. What's the story? Papayas as well. Right? Why are they lacking seeds? Because if you have seeds, you have tomorrow. If you no longer have seeds, it gets exciting. It becomes very easy to control. Do you know a lot of your good seeds? Our ancestral seeds, they are there in their house in the Western countries. And we are busy wiping out our own seed. Not only in plants, but also in our animals. Back home, our cows is hard mashona, goats hard mashona, and then we are enticed, you must cross it with this breed, you begin to get more flesh and whatnot, and then you wipe out your seed. That seed that is resilient to the geographical station where we are. That's very quite challenging, and that's a danger. Whoever controls the seed will control everybody. Yeah. A hungry stomach knows no rules. And that's a fact. Yeah, if they stop feeding us here, there will be chaos here. It's nature. So we need to come to a point where we control our seeds. Let's move away from hybrids, because the dangers with the hybrids, you are dependent upon the seed companies. Instead of you, I should be able to just go into my granary and take it. When I harvest, I saw, okay, These ones are for what? For seed. And seed must continue to produce. So that's key. Yes, what else did we grasp from yesterday? Yes. I've seen your hand. I'm coming to you.
I've learned that the trenching method, you must take out the topsoil and the subsoil,
30 centimeters of the subsoil.
30 centimeters of the subsoil. Then after that, and separate them, not mix them.
Yeah.
Then after that, you put the leaves or
What organic matter?
organic matter.
Yeah.
Then you put half of the
Top
subsoil,
subsoil.
then another organic matter, and then half, and then the rest of the subsoil. Then from there you put the mature
Manure.
then
Alternating.
topsoil, mature manure, topsoil, and then you mix.
Yeah.
I forgot that you should water the.
Yes, you haven't forgotten. You have remembered. You should also what? Also water. Yeah, our soil is alive, like living. Because sooner or later, in about 3 weeks, you come there, you dig, you are going to see some worms. You come in the microscope, you see nematodes, fungus, bacteria, because it's a what? It's alive. Also, the reason that we are saying, whenever you have worked your bed, you don't want to be working from the inside the bed. Because we are saying soil is what? Is alive. You're also trapping air in there. So, but if you step in there, you begin to what? Press out air. Yes, my brother, I've seen your hand.
Yeah, no, I've learned that while we are living in the cities, we become poor.
Okay.
Why? Just because of in the cities, we can't be able to create our own system and to do in farming. For example, let's say maybe you are living in the cities, maybe you buy tomatoes, you do tomatoes there. Then those seeds, when you are putting in a dustbin, you can't we are putting them in a dustbin, but only if we come out to the cities and stay in the wilderness, then we are able to create our own system and do what? A farming. Because Bishop yesterday making an example that if only you take and tie to it and cut it out, there's a mini seed inside of the tomato. Is not only if you take one seed, then you plant one seed, then it's going to give you only one tree. But how many tomatoes going to give you that time?
Yeah.
So when we are living in the cities, you can't be able to see, or I can say, well, when we are living in the cities, you can't be able to see or also to create a system to make a land for farming.
Yeah, because the system does not educate us to destroy it. Okay, you must be kept in bondage. So whatever we are talking, it's apparently in conjunction with country living. Because like I said, I'm not going to be quoting country living. Country living is a very small, but you can actually read it in a day. I'm not going to be quoting it to you. I'm going to be practical. Like I said yesterday, we do not eat quotations, we eat food. But yes, whatever I'm talking, it is in conjunction. I'm not separating country living here. Because come to think of it, like I said, we have more people in the countryside, but the biggest jail is in the city. Geographically speaking, all the African countries, more people are staying in the rural side than the city. But the biggest jail is where?
In the city.
Yeah, so when you stay in the city, it's either you're going to commit crime or crime is going to be committed on you. The biggest hospital is where? Is in the city. When there are pandemics, we find them in the city. Yeah, when you are sick, you try to go to the rural areas. The people in your rural areas, they are worried about the people who are bringing diseases from where? From the city. Yeah, so by God's design, now, country living is our best ideal. Look at the oxygen in here. If you go to the urban areas, I don't know if you felt anything when you arrived here. In about 2-3 hours, you begin a cooling down. Yeah, you meet people here, you can actually be greeting everybody. But in the urban areas, would you have greeted me if you met me in Joburg or in Pretoria?
Never.
Yeah, if you who is he, what is he trying to do? Yes, I have seen we are so much stressed in the city because we don't talk to each other in the city. In the cities, that's where we've got so many Makwerekweres and whatnot. I had the experience in Botswana. One guy would call me Mkwerekwere in Gaborone. You meet them, Sim, in their rural countries. You know how they eat watermelons there? They don't slice it like you eat in Zimbabwe. Everybody gets their own slice. They just slice it in half and then you pick, you wash your hands. And you are like, Bakauli, we are brethren here. Let's eat. But one guy, so there's something wrong with the urban life. Yeah, we just become wild. Ubuntu vanishes when you get into into the urban areas. So right here in the city, we can smile. Okay, anything else as far as our recording is concerned? Yes.
What came into my mind when we were talking about planting yesterday, I thought about trusting God.
Mm-hmm.
That when you are in the city, you learn to trust yourself too much.
True.
And you think that things come from you and your work and your salary.
Yes.
But in the country, you learn to trust God because there's nothing else. When you put the seed to eat, you must depend on Him.
You don't know what happened.
Yeah,
under
and you must
yes,
ask Him for maybe rain, whatever.
Mhm.
So it also teaches you to trust God when you do the lifestyle that God is calling us to do.
That's very true. Farming is a profession of faith. And like I said yesterday, you cannot be a Christian and not be a farmer. Okay? You can really be a farmer and not be a Christian, but never the vice versa. Yeah, once you are a Christian, because you can now check out the whole of the children of Israel's lifestyle. It was agrarian. Their economy is agriculture based. People need to eat in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, also in between their meals. So food is what is very, very vital. We need to understand that. Right. Anything else that we mastered from yesterday? There's a lot of things that we could. I thought you were going to say, no, you made me to put on my marks. And the reason why you go on your marks. Okay, we do not need the animal protein because our teeth are not like carnivores. Okay, what else? We mastered quite some stuff yesterday. Did you enjoy it yesterday? Yes.
That we have zones, or we can have zones in our houses for different parts of the farm.
Yes. When you get a land, you just come and destroy it. Don't just you put it in the zones and design it according to your desires for life. Think about it, the war of your what? The war of your life. Think about how my great-grandchildren are going to enjoy it. Okay, so that was it. Lovely. Let me go into a little bit of industries. While we have time, it's imperative that we have our own businesses, our own industries. Number one, to feed ourselves, our sphere of what? Our sphere of influence. If you read the Sabbath commandment, you find out, okay, it says, you shall not work, your son, your daughter, your servant. It does not say your boss.
Man servant.
So what does that entail? You are the boss.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to graduate these industries. One of the things that I do back home, okay, I do cooking classes. Okay? Yeah, sometimes they now even call me, they organize themselves, they call me, sometimes I gather the people and we do what we do. Yeah, and my cooking, I've all plant-based cooking classes. To that regard, I've actually co-authored a book because many times I found that when you talk of cooking book, it's too American or it's too British, and they talk, getting into a recipe, half of the ingredients, they don't know what they are. I tried to put it into good geography. Right? The quotation that I gave you yesterday, I tried to put a number of nice, good, delicious recipes that are plant-based and that is also raw. So that's one of the industry that you can actually even start up. Adventists generally don't even know how to prepare their Sabbath foods. Why don't you start it? Can you guys have got Sunday to Wednesday, you are putting in your orders for your Sabbath foods. You come and collect on what? on Friday before Sabbath starts. That's an industry that you can what? You can get. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And relatively, they are also in the city. They are apparently very, very busy. You would have helped them quite a great deal so that they don't break the Sabbath. They're cooking on the Sabbath when they have come from where? So think outside the box.
Amen.
That's one industry that we can what? We can actually think about. But let's read Proverbs chapter 22. Proverbs chapter 22. Verse 29. Seest thou a man diligent in his business? Mark diligent. Can you Google what diligent means? Ye shall stand before kings. Ye shall not stand before mean men. In chapter 22, verse 29. The man who is diligent in what? In his business. He shall stand before kings and not before me. I mean, like average.
Unknown man.
Average men, unknown men. If you become diligent, yeah, for you to be successful, business is about relationships. Okay? If you are diligent in your what? In your business, you will be what? You will be successful. So the principles of how we must run our lives, they are in this manual. You want to run a good business. If you want to prepare a lotion, you have got the principles in here. And God asks us to do it with clinical precision. They will be telling us, okay, you must add in this so much quantity, and that so much quantity. And okay, it's in here. We must come to a point where we actually understand this very, 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 very well. This is this manual. So we need to be educated.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, diligent.
It says, is an adjective that describes someone who is hardworking, careful, and persistent in their effort to complete a task.
Okay.
Is an adjective that describes someone who is hardworking, careful, and persistent in their effort to accomplish a task.
How many of us are here diligent? Okay, that's why they say.
This one says, it means working with care, effort, and commitment. Being hardworking and not giving up.
Did you hear that? Okay, can you read aloud?
Diligent means working with care, effort, and commitment. Being hardworking and not giving up easily.
This is what is required of us. And he has not said, go and get a degree. I'm not against education, okay? I don't mind if you go have your own PhDs and whatnot, but I'm just giving if you given a chance, I would prefer to work with the people who are educated. I'm against miseducation. Okay? So note the difference. All right? Be diligent in whatever you do. I'm very proud with whatever I do because I do it with the diligence, painstaking care, and I don't easily give up as well. So we are talking here that we need to come to a point where we graduate our own what? Businesses. Once we are what? We are in the countryside. Back home, I'm actually leading a men's forum, non-Adventist, non-religious, non-political. Okay? And we're just talking about country living and establishing our own establishments out there. And they're loving it.
What is it?
Is it?
Like what is that business? Like this?
Okay, it's men's forum. It's actually called the men's rural retreat.
Oh, wow.
Yes. But they are non-Adventists, a lot of them. And they are we said, okay, no religion, no politics. Because apparently, if there is a thing that is killing people, that is killing you and me, there are these two large forces. It's the politics, and it's also what the religion. If I say I'm an Adventist, and she says, I'm Catholic, but then here I begin to look with a certain eye. This one will persecute us. That's the religion. We are so much in a hurry to make people Adventists and not to make them Christian. That's the religion. Also, yeah, because if she has got the opportunity to be in a position, and then he say, no, this one is not Catholic. Whatever religion, that's what religion does. But we must come to a point where we've got the love of God, that is enduring. The moment we do like that, certainly our business also are going to what? Are going to transpire and expand. Very, very well. You excel. The first time I'm not the one who started off the men's rural retreat. I went there as a facilitator to talk about country living. And I was the only one planned best there. But I was up and about. The next year, second year, they said, no, prepare as a maid for the retreat. I'm a facilitator first time. The next one I'm preparing their maid. This time the Friday comes, hey, December. Okay. I never told them I'm not Adventist. Last year, they say, okay, we're asking you to be the chairman of the what? So from last year, this year, I'm the chairman of the what? This is what God does when we have employed diligence. Seest thou a man who is diligent in what? In his business. You will stand before what?
Kings.
You have seen my bottle of wine?
No.
Yeah. Okay, you show you. Alright, I pack in glass bottle. And must never be packed in plastic, no matter what. Because all these plastic, we don't use them in the laboratories. They are, they begin to leach. No wonder why currently there is a hype microplastics, whatnot, because we are depositing a lot of what they react with what. In Zimbabwe, there's no company that is making glass bottles in South Africa. But I'm dedicated to say, my honey will never be in a plastic, no matter what. That's dedication. So my honey is quite expensive back home, but people, they appreciate that one because I've put due diligence to it. I also make drinks. Kasambawezi, he knows it. A few of you tested it. But I take it where? Glass bottles. I'm putting what? Due diligence to the what? To the business. You can talk of producing food, like, okay, we're doing gardening. Come up with a garden where you're saying, okay, we're dedicating ourselves to organic food. You can actually turn it into what? Into a project. Income generating what? Income generating project. Does that make sense? Yes, so these are the things that we can actually be doing as far as our country living is concerned. Whilst we still have this leeway of buying and selling, we must create an environment where you are indispensable. The only way that you are going to survive is for our enemies to protect us. Why? Because they will be saying, we cannot do without what? Without those ones. So you must put yourself currently, once you can, into a very strategic position where your community knows you that, okay, we cannot do without what? Without this one. So in our communities, we generally just have to be very, very good people. Okay? People that the community depends upon. When I was growing up, okay, like I told you, I'm the only Adventist in my entire class. My father, there was a time he said, no, you don't go to that. He said, oh, those children are wild. I don't want you to go to their church. Why? It's behavior. So people currently, if you are going to thrive in our businesses, we need to be very, very good in the society. We don't need shortcuts. Give them value for what? Value for money. Organic food is very expensive. Why? It is very expensive. It's just tailor-made. Because what you put into organic gardening vis-a-vis the output is massive. You need less. But it's just tailor-made so that organic food must not be easily accessible by the common man. You are going to find, if you decide to say, okay, we are starting up our garden, you can The first time, especially you are doing the changing method, that's when you sweat and put in a lot. But as the years go by, you are going to find out you're putting less and the produce becomes what? Becomes massive. So you want to think along those ways. There are business principles that you have to apply when you think of running a what? Running a business. Let's say, okay, you want to produce spinach. Don't start producing it before you know whom you are going to sell it to. It does not make business sense. So do your what? Your research. Okay, this community, do you love spinach? How much are they eating? Where are you buying it now? If I get in, how much of the share can I get? Another, let's say, but another guy who did some other vegetable, we call it viscose bacon, but it's like the vegetable that is bacon that he has there, out there. Nice food, about 20-meter beds and 20 of them. It's nice good because he just said, okay, I'll be going, there's a market where they sell in Norton. Massive production. But he did not create a what? He had not done his own research. So he was nice big bundle. I'm going to sell it for $1. He gets in there. Yeah, there are people who are selling 50 cents, 20 cents a bigger bundle. He sold the 3 bundles and he had carried about 65 bundles. And, apparently he had actually even hired a car to carry him there. Listen, I'm just cementing. Research is needed when you venture into business. Don't just say, okay, everybody is selling cell phones. Let me also get into what? Into cell phones. Okay? Your business must be researched. Those are the principles. And sometimes also as the business, you have seen, okay, there's a venture. You might also need to abide with the business laws of the country so that you are not at war with what? With the authorities up there. Register it. Okay? Pay their taxes that they want you to pay. And then it can what? It can thrive very, very what? Very, very well. It's essential that we must master how God wants us to do our what? Our businesses. And they what? They are thriving. How many of us are doing their own businesses? Okay, 1, 2. Okay, 3, 4. All right, that's fine. Master the art. Let the business is what? Excel. Okay?